Taking a live look at the North Carolina Legislative Building, where a new bill was introduced today that would reshape how Wake County commissioners are elected. Thank you for joining us. I'm Deborah Morgan.
And I'm Dan Haggerty. This is a look at the map of the districts that make up the county right now, all currently held by Democrats. A former commissioner we talked to today says this new legislation is aiming to change that.
WRAL's Brett Neese is live outside the Wake County Justice Center where those commissioners meet. Brett, what do these changes look like?
Yeah, Dan and Deborah, a Republican hasn't served on the Wake County Commission since 2014, despite the fact that 36% of the voters in 2020 voted for former President Trump. And while a former commissioner says that this is all a power grab for Republicans, the state rep that is sponsoring this bill says that the commissioners should represent the communities they serve. Right now, the Wake County Commission is made up of 7 seats, all currently held by Democrats. Under the current system, commissioners must live in one of 7 county districts, but they're all elected countywide. A bill introduced today by State Representative Aaron Perret would change that.
The reason they want it is they want to elect more Republicans. The issue is not so much they need to change the structure. They need to run better candidates.
Former Wake County Commissioner Sig Hutchinson says the change is not needed, and it's simply a strategy by Republicans to find a way to take back a seat they haven't held in nearly 10 years. Perret's bill keeps the 7 districts as they exist now, and voters in those districts would elect one candidate each. Plus, she says she wants to take party politics out at the county level.
So I want to take that partisan element out of this. We need to look at the candidates, and I don't really care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, Big Bird, Mickey Mouse, whatever the voters elect to represent them in their part of the county is what we should have confidence in.
Political analysts I spoke with say the partisan nature of elections can never be fully removed, and states' political parties often get involved in nonpartisan races, making it clear to informed voters who is associated with which party.
You know, in theory, it changes things. In practice, it doesn't really change anything. Everybody knows, for example, in the recent school board elections, who the Democratic candidates were, who the Republican candidates were.
WRAL's NC Capitol team says the bill will likely get a committee hearing next, but it's not clear how much further it could progress after that, because every other Wake County lawmaker in the state house is a Democrat.
And a lot of times local legislation like this does not move if a majority of those local legislators are against it, but that's not a rule.
Shanika Thomas, the current chair of the Wake County Commission, did just release a statement to us within the last 15 minutes. Reads in part that they were surprised to receive word of the proposed legislation this afternoon. They were not consulted prior to its filing. Shanika Thomas says that they will be reviewing it. She and the other commissioners will be reviewing this proposed bill within the next couple of days and further analyzing it.
Brett Neese live in downtown Raleigh. Thank you, Brett.